Okay, guys, welcome to MikeMann.com live stream number 19. We're going to do live domain name training and have a guest come and see how our day goes. Hopefully, we're going to leave early for Christmas and go to the beach. And hopefully, you all can see me. Somebody give me a little heads up and say hello to make sure I'm broadcasting successfully. I'm going to pull up some domains here. And we're going to do some domain name training. Just give me 1 sec, please. I'm going to share my screen with you. Sorry, I should have set up the screen sharing before I started here. So I'm going to add Dr. Graylyn Swilley Woods from Miami, from the Overtown Community Youth Center. She's a great help to the community. She helped the Convention and Visitors Bureau for a long time. She has a rich history with the charity community in Miami, and particularly Overtown, which is an area that's been through a lot that I'm going to let her tell you because she knows much more about it than I do. We'll do some domain name training after that. And I'm going to add Dr. Woods right now. And here she is.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good, good. How are you this morning?
Doing awesome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
I imagine it's a beautiful day in Miami. Boca is a beautiful day that I wish I could be enjoying more.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. Extraordinarily beautiful. The sun is shining. It's kind of crispy in the air. It's not so humid as it is in the summer. So it's a great day.
Beach time.
Yeah.
And you have some big holiday plans ahead?
We're keeping it COVID safe, you know, just trying to play it real low, but doing the Zoom thing with family and so forth.
Or at least you have to tell everybody anyway.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm teasing. So what I like to do here is start with people, where they're from, a little bit about their family and their work background. And then I bring it to today, what you're doing today and what's positive in the community. So I'm going to let you tell me whatever you want to tell me. I might ask some questions and it's all good.
Good. Thanks again. I spent most of my adult life in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Columbus, Ohio, and Cincinnati, Ohio, but came from Jacksonville, Florida. So I've sort of made full circle from high school, college, and now I'm back here for the past 10 years back in Florida. But a little bit about my family. I come from a family of 8 children, which was huge. It's huge. And, you know, most of us has finally found our way from nursing to, you know, chefs to athletes to Army brats. All of that has been a combination of, you know, my family experience. And we've moved from Jacksonville to Los Angeles and back to Florida. So we've sort of had the Southern, Midwestern, and West Coast experience. So, and it's been pretty rich. And to have brothers and sisters that you can sort of learn to grow old with and have fond memories of, I think is what I'm cherishing more now than anything.
And so then tell me about your how you got started in your work world, how you ended up being a leader in Miami. And, you know, I've been reading about you, but it'd be much better for you to tell it yourself.
Well, yeah, I came to Miami from Cincinnati, Ohio. I was recruited by the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau to run one of their tourism initiatives. And prior to that, my work was at Ohio State University, director of their Community Extension Center, faculty and liaison for international and national events and speakers there at the university. And started with the student presidency. I think that sort of locked in my leadership sort of interest when I was at the University of Pittsburgh, and I became the student government leader for the Black Student Union. And so that was a very interesting time. That was the late 70s. And what intrigued me more than anything is I thought it was going to be a more of a social sort of sorority type experience when I became, but it was just the opposite. It was more the climate of social justice and the Black Studies movement, and it shifted my whole paradigm. And even at that time, my budget as a student was $250,000. So that was a lot of money for a 21-year-old to manage. So that set the tempo for, how to move resources, how to think strategically, how to engage differences and come out with collaborative efforts. So I've just been very intrigued with building partnerships and mitigating differences and coming up with solutions that just help us to have a better humanity. So out of all of it, it's just kind of been this kind of energizing experience for me.
Well, that's awesome. It's an awesome beginning to this story. Now, again, I've just been catching myself up on Miami history and a little bit about the community of Overtown. If you can tell me about Overtown and about your work there and about what us South Floridians can do to assist, for example, how to reach you, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah. The history of Overtown is the history of Black America throughout the U.S. It was formed at the turn of the century, around 1900, as a segregated community, always have been a segregated community until recently, the past 3-4 years, with the onslaught of gentrification, that complexion has changed tremendously, like overnight. But the history has just been so rich because, it was it once called Colored Town, and it was called Colored Town based upon the definitions of the city at that time. Flagler was building his railroad, and that same railroad is running through Overtown today in the name of Brightline. And it was sort of to have it designated as Colored Town for the workers and the entrepreneurs and those people who comprised Overtown at that time, where there were the Black entrepreneurs. They weren't probably called entrepreneurs then, but they were surely entrepreneurs because we had 10 hotels that stood here in Overtown that modeled that with those hotels on the beach that stand today, those deco art buildings, because the Blacks helped build those hotels there on the beach. So we have that rich legacy of the Lyric Theater that's still standing. It was only one of the buildings that's standing today from the 30s and the 40s through that Jim Crow era, where we had Aretha Franklin and Billie Holiday and Langston Hughes and all those other Harlem Renaissance and the Chittenden Circuit folk that was a part of that Renaissance during the 30s and the 40s. So Overtown has been the cradle for Black history and culture here in Miami for the past 100 years. And it is giving its rebirth. There are so many tales to be told about the place, from the first millionaire there. That house is still standing in Overtown. The Red Rooster restaurant from Harlem has just launched its opening of a Red Rooster here in Overtown that is giving us this kind of rebirthing of the neighborhood. But it has been the cradle. It remains the cradle for culture and history and entertainment. And even though its geography, its demographics is changing significantly, it's now probably 40 Hispanic, 60 African American, just because of the composition of Miami itself. But the community is just something I welcome everyone to visit our website, OvertownCYC.org, and there is some sort of newsletter and legacy map that is now being created that can be made available, that we'll make available on our website to you.
I'm posting some of that URLs on my blog post here, but you're welcome to post anything you want onto my social media, and I can post additional stuff as well. And also, this entire interview is going to be saved on YouTube forever, so you can share it wherever you want to, and I'll share it as well. If I could ask you a couple of questions regarding Overtown. First of all, you spoke about this expression gentrification, which I've heard of, but what does it actually mean in your neighborhood? Like, what's going on there?
Well, gentrification, it has its negative and, positive connotations, depending upon who you're talking to. But gentrification is usually when external forces or when external companies and businesses come in and transform a neighborhood, which usually escalates the rent, creates new sort of footprint that may not necessarily be the footprint of the community in which it just brought its new resources to. So and then it could also be looked at in terms of when it's collaborative and when there's a sense of participation from the bottom up and not just from the top down, it could have a different kind of outcome where folk could really be employed with those new resources that are coming in that could actually benefit from the infusing of the new resources. It could really be a changing of the guards if there's some lens with equity and fairness and caring is included in that process. So it's just been on the opposite side of that. But, I think what Overtown is trying to do because of its, I think its historic caring, is really trying to create some fabric where all of the community is not moved out. So we are seeing, I'm seeing some positive trends. We have a place called the Urban, which is a big outside facility that is Black owned, has created this entertainment space.
They have a lot of bands there and like music and stuff, or when COVID's not around, they will have a lot of music.
Yeah, exactly. So it's creating that. The Lyric Theater, has created its new brand around entertainment and nightlife. So the Red Rooster there is another, obviously Black enterprise, Black business that you're seeing the mushrooming effect of what that transformation could look like when it's, looked at through some fair lens and where folk can get the loans that now it's being offered. That there's another restaurant, the Little Greenhouse is another one that has popped up. This Josephine Don Hotel, which is a Black-owned enterprise, has popped up in the area. So, so as a result of this shift, we are seeing positive effects that, we want to showcase so that it continue to help to brand the community in a different kind of way. Yes,
ma'am. Well, again, Sean Randolph introduced me to you. Hopefully he'll come around after COVID and we're going to come see some music and check out Overtown and get more firsthand experience there.
Good. We would definitely invite you here to see Little Haiti, West Coconut Grove, Little Havana, all of our little rich culture enclaves.
Eat some good food, try some local beverages.
Yes.
Can I ask you just one more couple things regarding the holidays? So you said you come from a family of 8 siblings, right?
Yes.
So you have how many like nieces and nephews?
Oh my goodness, over 50.
And a lot of them are still in Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, or they're all in Florida?
Yeah, they're all majority is in Jacksonville and in Los Angeles.
Do you guys have a Zoom thing or like this one where you're going to get together for show each other Christmas trees and stuff?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we did it for Thanksgiving and for someone's birthday, and it was just so many people on the phone that it didn't even make sense to try to regulate. It was, I haven't seen you in years. So it was let everybody chat.
It didn't break the Zoom app because you had too many people on it?
Not at all. Not at all.
That's so cool.
Good.
Well, it's so nice of you to come on. Anything else you want to talk about before I do my domain stuff?
No. Well, Mac, where are you coming from? You're airing from where?
I'm in Boca.
Oh, you're up the street.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it's such a nice day here. I figure it's a nice day in Miami.
Yeah, I was thinking right around the New Year to do Deerfield Beach. That's one of my favorite little spots. So
yeah, if you look at my wall, I have pictures there this morning of before sunrise of the Christmas stuff, of the piers lit up with Christmas, the paths lit up with Christmas. I posted a few things on my social media today from like 6 o'clock this morning. It's really pretty. Let me know if you come up this way.
Well, I would definitely like to follow and see how we can get some social connections and get our organization out there as in many spaces as we possibly can, and invite some of our young people to say hello to you and give their voice. Absolutely.
So we'll share more information and keep in touch, and I'm going to bring you back on here and whenever and let you give me an update on what's going on in Overtown and with your family and everything else.
Good.
Cool. Good. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Woods. That was an awesome story, and you've been doing a great job in the community, so I appreciate it. I'll thank you on behalf of the community of South Florida.
Thank you.
And we're going to talk to you again soon.
Good. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, that was awesome. And I'm going to get to save that video forever. Appreciate that. I'm going to do live domain name training. If you guys have any excellent .com domain names, I will teach you how to fish. Even though technically I'm appraising your domains, I'm attempting just to teach you how to appraise your own domains in the future. The object is to find great underpriced .com domains. .coms are the only ones worth investing in, investable assets. The other ones are way too risky, and 99% of the .com are way too risky. Only the very best .com are worth appraising because they're the only ones that have any value. The ones that have value will likely go up in value and have been going up in value. The ones that don't have value and never had value are not going to in the future. So we're talking about brands that already exist. So again, I run through this process with you guys here to do the appraisals. It's a 3-step process, and any domain that doesn't survive that comes up with a 0. So domains that aren't .com almost always come up with a 0. So I'll describe the process. You guys can give me some domain names, and we'll practice domain name appraisals. We just need a little help here. Okay. So with respect to the process, the first thing is, what does it mean? If it doesn't mean anything, it's worth 0. Betting that it'll mean something in the future is a bad bet. It's extraordinarily risky. And again, we're only talking about .com here. If it doesn't have .com, it's unbelievably risky anyhow. And unless it's extremely cheap and extremely good, it wouldn't be worth doing. But again, with the same money and amount of research, you'd be better off studying the .com market space, where there's millions of domains, hundreds of thousands of them at any given time are underpriced. New ones come on the market underpriced 24 hours a day. Not to mention they're all negotiable, so you could probably get most of them for half the price that they're listed. So what does it mean, and is it .com? If it means nothing, it's worth nothing, then you're looking for the breadth and the depth. The breadth is how many potential buyers of that exact identical expression might there be. Among those, which of those buyers would pay the most money? What's the depth, and how deep is that? How much money might they pay, or how wealthy are they in general? So we'll practice that with a few domains, and then you guys can do Christmas. Okay, so Jeremy has productfounder.com. Doesn't sound that exciting. We have Mark has extremeness.com. Thomas has subtility, something like that. Well, I'm going to try those guys out. But again, I'm guessing since we don't know what they mean right off the bat, they're failing our primary test before we look at the breadth and the depth. So back to sharing my screen here. You guys give me some better domains for the second half of this process. And we do domain name appraising. Yay. I'm going to send you my Venmo information. You can wire me the big bucks. Of course, I don't really have Venmo, but that's another story. Hold on. Productfounder.com. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. And so what does it mean? Rise of the product founder. That's good to see. Product/founder. It's a little random. Again, if Google was a better search engine and had competitors, we wouldn't get Boolean that had characters in the middle, because as you see, I asked for an exact quote, and that exact quote has a blank in the middle. Exact expression. It does not have a slash in the middle, so it's not an exact. And if it was a better search engine and had more options or had competitors, but it's a monopoly, so I can't search for what I really want to search for with a monopoly. So that's a shame and illegal. So we're gonna have to do something about that. So again, product founder is product founders. It's not an exact. This one has a slash in the middle. So it's hard to really find what I'm looking for with this crappy search engine, but in any event, trying my best. So I'm looking at images. So what we see is it doesn't mean much. We know what it means. Somebody who discovered a product. The depth is, there's a couple of references, 2018 reference. So the answer is it's not worth much. It doesn't matter so much if it's worth $500 or $1,000. It's not much different. The other names, question is, are they worth $20,000 or $100,000, which has an $80,000 spread potential. In this case, there's a $500 spread potential, which is somewhat irrelevant. Product founders worth $1,000. Next one on the list. Oh, I forgot I could do this. Subtlety. I don't know if that's actually a word in the dictionary or not, but we'll find out in 1 second. Subtlety. I guess it is. Being subtile. Thin, because it's not subtle, it's subtile. I'm thinking subtle. That's a different word. Quality or state, thinness, fineness. What do you know about that? Thinness, fineness, tenuity. Thank you very much. Whatever the hell tenuity is. It's kind of cool though. Exility in a physical sense. Not sure what that means. Exility. Exility. This is a synonym, which isn't a very popular word. 472 matches. If it was less than 100, it'd be a false positive, and it would be the wrong number. That, again, Google giving us bad data. In this case, I have no idea what exility means, but it means something because it showed up as in the definition. So it's kind of a cool name, actually. We're going to see if we have any more information here about it. What does subtlety mean? Well, it's kind of cool, actually, how to pronounce it, what it is. It's a word from the dictionary. It might be a word from the Bible. Indeed it is. Oh, full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil. Yikes. Nirvana? What the hell? Now I'm tripping out. This is hitting too close to home. Okay. The answer is subtlety is worth about $4,000. Cool. Worth 4K. It's weird, but in dictionary. Bam. But really, it's not about being subtle. It's about being thin and the devil, or something of the child of the devil, not actually the devil. So again, you got to read the actual detail. You don't really, I'm just joking. So here we go. We did that one. We're going to try extremeness for Mark Hofmeister. Extremeness, again, it would be better if it was just like extreme, which would be very valuable. Extremeness is probably a dictionary word again. These words they're sending me have some similarities. They're like strange dictionary words, essentially one word dictionary words that are imperfect, but nonetheless in the dictionary. And again, you can see this little pull down gives you a little information. Plus you can open some of these pages if you wanted to, but it says extremeness aversion, extremeness of attitude, definition, source. Again, we're just trying to see what it means, the breadth and the depth, to attempt to come up with a valuation, which again, it's valuations are soft, and this isn't the way I normally do it. I usually have more time and more tools and more help. But we're doing the best we can and using a good process to do so. So I just messed that up. So back to extremeness. Well, it's good. There's a page there. So we know what it means. It's cool, and it's related to sports, actually, which is something I wasn't really taking into account. I was thinking more of like politics. So once you can add sports into it, it becomes much more valuable. Sports is more valuable than politics, and both of them together is double valuable. So again, what it means, we kind of know what it means. The breadth is pretty good breadth. Anybody could kind of use it with something for a cool sports site, or whatever. I don't think it would be a good politics site, but let's just stick with sports and sporting related things. And then the depth is one of those people might be wealthy and have a really great company and really need that brand. It's one word. It's in the dictionary. It's better than the last one we did. And so we're going to praise it right now. I'm guessing it's worth about 10,000, I think. Again, I'd like to spend more time researching it, but right off the bat, I think it's worth about 10,000. Great name. And this was one of the examples. It didn't sound that great at first, but once I realized it was related to sports, I had to do the research and look around and think it through and see that it's actually a dictionary word. And then you realize it has value. And so the object would be to buy those names like that for very cheap and add them to your portfolio and, sell them for what you could sell them for. Again, I'm listing the price at 10,000, but if you bought it for 100 and somebody offered you 5,000, that's really the object here. So you'd be in good shape. So I'll do a few more, and Christmas cookies. Devasin is Gaurav. Let's see what, I keep forgetting I can do this thing here. Okay, so I'm going to try Devasin. I forgot how to spell it. Devacine. Okay, very nice. Well, that's somebody's last name, apparently, from the Philippines. Well, there you have that. Question is it a popular name? So let's just go back to the numbers here. 1,200, definitely not. But it might be that it's not perfectly. DE vaccine. See, you got to look at it differently. That could be German vaccine. I don't know. Or the vaccine, the Institute of the Vaccine. But again, in France, in French, they don't start words with DE, I don't think. They start with le, but not DE is the middle of a sentence, actually. So it helps to know a tiny bit about language, which is the most that I know is a tiny bit, but it just didn't look like proper like that. So again, you don't see anything with de vaccine. If I did le vaccine, that would have a lot of activity, which of course is not this word. That would be a great domain, and DE would not be. So that's a subtlety. If you don't know, you can't price the word. In this case, most likely there's a lot of activity. There's 18,000, not that many, because vaccine's not spelled the right way. This is spelled in English. We'd have to spell vaccine in French also. So again, whole thing is a disaster as far as pricing this domain. So what does it mean? I'm not really sure. It's the last name of some terrorist in the Philippines, I guess. Who the hell knows? Sirwada Joseph the Vaccine, Chief Strategy and Admin Officer. It's not actually even his name. I'm just making stuff up here. The answer is, I have no idea what this means, and therefore it has no depth and no breadth, but it has the word vaccine in it, and could be a last name, could be related to DE is German, is the German domain extension, and a short way of describing Germany, Deutsch. So in any event, what is DE vaccine worth? I have no idea. We're going to go with $1,000 for fun. There you go. Do one or two more and let you guys off the hook. Do a little music while we try to figure out what we're doing. VUZH. I'm going to guess that's not worth anything, but hopefully I'm wrong. Shaitan. So again, the object here is to find names like this. I mean, if you could buy this for really cheap, I have no idea if it's worth something. We're going to find out, but that's the point. If I do research on 100 names like this, one of them I can buy for $10 or $20, whatever it happens to be. The question is, what is it worth? So if it's worth something, you're in the money. You just have to spend enough time and do enough research at the price versus the value. And so again, exactly correct. It actually means something, which I didn't know, and again, so it's actually a very valuable domain. I can already tell. I'm going to do more research. And most likely it was bought for really cheap because it has these weird letters in it. Although 4-letter domains keep rising in value. Any great domains keep rising in value. And again, this actually means something. It means a lot. And we're going to, again, attempt to value it. It's the name of some kind of band or DJ dude, for one thing. It has something to do with shoes, apparently. Again, I'm not going to do all the research at the moment. Views Music Essential. It'd be nice to look at that and see what that looks like. That has a whole website of interesting stuff going on there. Okay, so what does it mean? Not really sure exactly, but it was already for sale before. That's actually a bad thing. That means nobody bought it before, which means they might not buy it again. And plus, we don't even know the price. It could have been much less. Oh, actually, we do know. It looks like it was $10,000. So that's at least gives us some framework of what it used to cost. So it's probably worth less since they couldn't sell it for that. Or can't sell it now for that, I should say. I don't even own this. So maybe that's what Shaitan's selling it for at the moment. So what does it mean? I'm not sure. What is the breadth? A little bit. The depth is pretty good, though, because a couple people like it a lot, and it's only 4 letters, and apparently it says something. VUZ, Christ only knows. But the good news is that we're going to slap a price on it, and somebody's in the money because it's a pretty cool name. VUZH.com. Worth I have to go with 3,000. Cool. Okay, one more, and we're gonna wrap it. I'm gonna check one thing real quick here, see if anybody's waiting for me. Okay, last one. Let's see what we have on our list here. Lobbyinggroup.com from Mark. I think that's our last one. It's a good time when they're doing all this lobbying. I don't know if you guys saw what went on in the press today. So, Trump had Steve Mnuchin cut the dirty deal for $900 billion of relief. I own relief.org and bailout.com for that matter. But in any event, $900 billion of relief, otherwise known as future tax and interest payments. And Trump supposedly authorized this dude to cut the deal. Everybody cut the dirty deal. And then Trump said, sorry, I want to give more money to the individuals, which may be his way of just crushing the deal that he doesn't want to do. But the other possibility is that he's just, trying to be a populist to run again in 3 years, to tell everybody he tried to get them more money. But, Nancy Pelosi messed it up. So the funny part is Nancy Pelosi said okay to Trump's deal, which of course is a Democratic sounding deal to give away more money. And Trump was never really a Republican in the first place. He just convinced the Republicans to, rally with him. So in any event, back to our lobbying group. Within today's context, people need to lobby. They thought this deal was done. They need to finish their lobbying to see if they're going to do this deal and give out the money. It'll be actually funny if the thing gets killed before Christmas, or if Trump makes all the senators work through Christmas. There's no free money, though. You're going to be paying it back one way or the other. And you already did pay for it by working really hard. And, they wasted whatever money in Washington and from your 401ks. So we know what a lobbying group is, keeping in mind that it could be in state and local governments too. It does not just have to be for the federal government. There's thousands and thousands of state and local governments. So that opens up a plethora of potential lobbying groups, greater than the huge number of lowlifes in DC. There's a few nice people in DC, don't get me wrong. It's just most of them are rapists. Kidding. Not funny. Lobbying group. Yeah, so we know what it means. The breadth is, any lobbying group can use it. And the depth is one of them should pay good money. So this is another great example of a good domain name could have potentially been bought for cheap. I don't know the buy price. I should actually get that information, the buy price and the traffic, before I appraise it. So I have a better context for what's going on. But in any event, it's a name that could have been purchased cheap, and names like it today can be purchased cheap. This is the key message. The takeaway is you could buy thousands of domains as good as this today for $100 each, let's say, for example, on average. Now, this, again, as good as this. So, but what's this one worth is the issue. This one's worth $5,000. So again, you could probably buy an unlimited number as good as this for $100 that are actually worth $5,000. The issue is it's worth $5,000, but there's no liquid market for domain names. So when you sell it, you could probably sell it for $5,000, but you might not be able to sell it at all, and you might have to wait endless years, which is why, you have to run yourself some, analysis to guesstimate, what percentage of your collection you'll be able to sell each year at what price, and whether you have other ancillary revenues from like parking traffic or leasing domains or selling email addresses, whatever it may be. So what I'd like to say is, You guys are awesome, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming on my live stream and spending time with me today. Hope you'll come back all the time. This broadcast is going to be saved on YouTube. You can check it out and share it. And look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Peace be with you. Have Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Stay out of trouble.